Welcome, everybody, to the show. Joining us is our co-host and fellow traveler, Dan the Dan Noodles Man, the Bronco Nagurski of Wargaming. So, welcome, Dan. How's it going?
Yeah, okay, it's going, okay?
It's going. All right. So, what we're doing here tonight and on the next show, which is next Sunday, Dan and I will be selling some Wargames. Now, I will be selling tonight, and I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it. And Dan may decide to do it the same way, or he may decide to do it his own way, and that's cool. That will be next week. I have got 12 games, and I'll give everybody the ground rules as soon as I catch up on the chat. I want to make sure everybody... I intentionally set the thumbnail up to do this. Dan himself will not be for sale. Dan's Wargames will be for sale. So...
I would cringe at the person who'd want to buy me.
I don't know either. I don't know. Perhaps someone is in desperate need of a garden gnome.
I'm
just saying. You get the hat and you got the thing nailed.
I'm going through a hard time and kick them while they're down, Ardy.
That's right. We're all about cruelty, senseless cruelty here on the CHIT show, folks. So anyway,
Joe's in the house.
Mr. Joe. Joe's got all these already. I'm positive. So, all right. So here's my rules. Again, Dan may decide to do it this way or may decide to do something different. I am going to put up a banner with the basic instruction. That's scroll across
Ardy,
bottom.
I'm going to do it your way. What way do I have?
You can do it however you want. I don't care.
What do you think? I'm an enterprise.
Anyway, all right. So the rule is that you are going to that's not working the way I wanted it to work. Hold on.
They're making fun of me, eh?
They are making fun of you. There we go. All right. Now I got it as a ticker. Good job. All right. So the way I'm doing it is I will only accept PayPal as payment. These prices have been calculated from the going rates on Noble Knight and BGG Marketplace, and I will tell you what they evaluated it at. You will email me if you want to buy a game. The email address is in the ticker at the bottom of the screen, ardwulfslair@gmail.com. First come, first serve on this, but I will keep your name on the list in case somebody bakes out, which has occurred in the past. I will expect buyers to pay actual shipping. I will ship via pirate ship, which is cheaper than the standard options. And I will charge actual shipping. I got more than enough friggin' cardboard and packing peanuts around here. So, yes, we kid because we love that old good one. Case Blue, not in the list. I've got 12 games here. So I'm going to start. Dan, are you ready?
Go ahead.
All right. Very first game on the list is Ted Racers, The Fall of the Third Reich. This is World War II in Europe from 1943 to the end of the war. It's a pretty interesting game. Comes highly recommended to me. That's why I bought it. It is punched and clipped very neatly and organized in a counter tray, but I have not managed to play it. And in fact, that is why it is going away, because I don't expect to get to it. So The Fall of the Third Reich is going for $50 on Noble Knight. Oh, and prices are in USD here. They're US dollars. I'm in the US, so bear that in mind if you elect to send me an email about something. Noble Knight has Fall of the Third Reich. There's maybe some extremely minor box wear on this, but just at the corners. So it's in nice shape. It's an excellent condition copy. Noble Knight wants 50 for it. The last USD sale on BGG was for 40. I would like 35 for it. Feel free to make offers, but I'm going to wait until actual guaranteed sales are done before I respond to offers.
So how are you going to, Ardy, how are you going to, let's say I email you and say, yeah, I want it for 35. And then fucko, he screws me over and says, I'll take it for 45. And then, I don't know.
This is not an auction. These are the prices. Feel free to make offers, but I'm not. If my I don't think my prices are too high. Let me put it that way.
Good.
This is stuff that Dan needs some money, and I need to clear some space. So that's what's going on. All right.
For some reason, I don't know why I thought it was going to be an auction on next week for me. But I'll do it your way.
That sounds like a pain, and I got literally state regulations to worry about trying to run an online auction. I ain't even going to try that.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, no, I'm not kidding. It's a felony here in Ohio. Yeah. So it's dumb, but it is what it is. All right. Game number 2 is for Novo, $14.95 from Compass Games. This is a Brian J. Miller design. Am I right about that? I think I'm right about that. So this was supposed to start off the Order of Arms series, and the counters are stunning. They are absolutely stunning. I'm reasonably confident this is, in fact, unpunched. It is not a top seller for Compass Games. It is, in fact, unpunched. The counters are gorgeous. And once again, maybe there's some minor amounts of box wear at the corners here, but that's about it. So Noble Knight has this for $44. BGG last USD sale was $36. I would like $30 for it. $30 for Novo, $14.95. Gorgeous game.
Wow, that's, you know what, this is pretty.
But I'm not going to get to it.
That's cheap for a game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Here's another one that is just like, I'm not going to get to this. Washington's Crossing from Revolution Games. So I think this is Randy's game, if I'm not mistaken. No, Roger Miller is the designer here. What's that?
The map.
Graphics by Mark Mahaffey.
Okay.
This one is punched, and once again, neatly organized in a counter tray, but totally unplayed. The die is even still in here. You can't count on that with me. I tend to take the dice out of the games because I got dice all over the place. 1-inch box, again, some minor shelfware. That's about it. Never been played. Washington's Crossing. Noble Knight wants $28 for it. BGG last sale was for $24 in the US. I would like $20. This is an operational American Revolution game. Had they done an entire series of these, I would have them all. But they did not. This was the only one that they did because Roger's busy running the company. So what do you got there, Dan?
No, because I'm
That's
looking at the map, and it's Rick Barber. The thing is that
this is not Rick Barber. I can tell you.
I mean, if I got a game by that the map art is by Rick Barber, I'm gonna keep the bloody map and just frame the bloody thing.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely could. I mean, I have bought at least one game just because of the amazing Rick Barber map. All right, so here's this kind of a surprise, and once again, I've decided I'm simply not going to get to this. It's pretty new. And very heavy. It is the Battles of Napoleon Volume 1 from Sound of Drums Games, ILAU 1807. This did come with a couple of counter trays, which I will try to find. It is partially punched. I did the rotary markers. There's a complete other set of markers here. Otherwise, everything's mounted. It's an absolutely beautiful game, and they are crowdfunding the next volume in the series, Quatre Bras, pretty soon. Bear in mind that a lot of the sale prices, the prices you will see for this are for new copies because it's still available. That is the case with the $74 MSRP from Noble Knight. BGG last US sale was for $89. I would like $50 for it. $50 US.
And how did you pronounce that?
ILAU?
Is that the way it's pronounced?
I don't know. That's how Wargamers pronounce it.
And where does that take place?
It is in Prussia.
Despite
that, there's only a few. It's not just a few, but most of the coalition army at the battle is actually Russian, not Prussian.
Right.
The Prussians had already had their clocks cleaned by this point. So, all right, now I have, and remember, folks, email if you want to buy any of these to ardwulfslair@gmail.com. That is in the ticker. PayPal only. Buyer to pay actual shipping, and I will send PayPal invoices out, which will include shipping once we've figured out what everybody's buying. All right, I have 3 games here from the company scale system from Compass. That's an Adam Starkweather series. We've played it. It's pretty good. I just don't think I'm taking it any further. First of all, we have The Little Land. Somebody mentioned something about for Novo, which was pretty cheap in Compass's sale. This was also pretty cheap in Compass's sale, but possibly not quite this cheap. Noble, let's see what the condition is. Once again, there might be some minor corner wear, but that's it. I think this is partially punched. Looks like I punched everything but the markers. They are organized in baggies in this particular case. And I'm not, if it's in baggies, it's going in baggies. If it's in a counter tray, it's going in a counter tray. I'm not going to take the time to fix that. The Little Land. It is a pretty cool system. Very reminiscent of GTS. There's been some video on that. So The Little Land, Noble Knight wants $45 for it. BGG last sale was $50. I would like $40 for The Little Land, which is, I think, comparable, maybe not exactly, but comparable to what Compass wanted as the sale price. And we'll see how this does, right? All right, next up in the CSS series is Montelomar, the Anvil of Fate. This is in southern France in 1944. It's part of Operation Anvil. It's actually a really interesting topic. This guy does include the dice, two very fancy D10s. They're not actually fancy. This one is unpunched. I never got to this in any capacity. Once again, you might find some very minor box wear, but that's about it. So unpunched Montelomar, the Anvil of Fate. Noble Knight would like $110 for this. I believe it is no longer available. I might be wrong about that. The last BGG sale was for $65. I would like $60 US for Montelomar, the Anvil of Fate.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. That is my highest priced item, by the way.
Really?
So yeah. For tonight, right? I got more expensive stuff, but none of that's getting talked about tonight. Also, last in the CSS series, we have Tinian. This is the rest of the series. I've already gotten rid of Saipan and Guam, actually. Tinian, this one might be punched. It is, in fact, punched and neatly organized in counter trays. Unplayed, once again. There are a couple of D10s in here. Maybe, again, minor shelf wear at the corner. So for Tinian, Noble Knight's price is $60. BGG last sale price was $65. My price is $50 for Tinian, the Forgotten Battle. It's a neat series of World War II battles that haven't been covered that much.
Hey, Mark Herman's in the house. Mark, how are you?
No, hey Mark, how's it going? I have 5 more games. So, and I'll run through the list at the end here when we go. Looks like I'm going to get through all of them in the first 15 minutes of the show. But, it is what it is. Speaking of Mark, I got one of Mark's here, and it's Pacific War, the old one. Now, this particular copy, I got the new one, of course, from GMT. That's why I don't need 2 of them. Right. This particular copy has come from the library of Fucko himself. Now, he sold it to me for $20. So I would like $20 for it. It is punched. It is neatly organized. I am reasonably confident that it is all here. And the box has been covered with what appears to be clear contact paper, for those of us who remember that in the old days where everything got clear contact paper on top of it. But it's still an awesome game. It is mechanically a little bit different from the update, but it's the same game, right? There's a few mechanical changes to the update, let me put it that way. But it is an absolute classic 3-inch box. Looks like there was actually, it doesn't look like any of the corners actually blue, but it got covered with this contact paper anyway, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Anyway, as you can imagine, the prices on these have gone down considerably in the last couple of years because there's a new version out that's really nice. Noble Knight wants $28 for Pacific War. I didn't check condition. That's just a flat price. It seems approximately correct to me. Last sale on BGG was $25. I would like $20, the same $20 that I paid to Fucko about 6 years ago to get this beautiful masterpiece of a game in the first place. So I guess we're stacking them up here so people can see them. Similarly, next,
Joe was saying he went through putting blinging your games there, and Stuka Joe blinged his games by laminating the maps, of which I did too, and I wish I never did.
I don't like laminated maps. I don't like it. It's if you can store your map, I mean, I'm going to put plexi on the map anyway. I don't need it laminated. Who cares?
Yeah.
So, I got plexi. Every year I come home with more from Winterfest with more plexi. Not every year. It didn't happen this year, but with more plexi than I came with. I'm like, how did this even happen? Who needs plexi? And nobody wants plexi because everybody's got tons of it. All right. Very similar. Vietnam 65-75, a masterpiece of a game. Nick Karp is the designer from Victory Games back in the day. Once again, I have a new one. This one is, let me double check it because I've had a couple of these pass through my hand. Avalon Hill die with an Avalon Hill parts catalog, and Avalon Hill counter tray, and the game is unpunched.
What a beast.
So, but again, same type of situation where a new one is out, so nobody really wants the old one anymore. So the price has gone way down, and you could have gotten $100 for this at one point. All right, Vietnam 65-75. Noble Knight's price is $35. BGG's last sale was $20. I would like $15 for an unpunched Vietnam.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
There is some edgeware. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but there is some general edgeware. But other than that, no blown corners or anything like that. It is in very nice condition, and it is a singular game. Many feel is the definitive game on that topic, and I can understand that.
Yeah, let me be an opportunist here. Look at this. Okay, Ardy, keep going.
Okay, you know what? I didn't tell you what was next, did I?
No.
All right. So I got 2 games here. They are going to sell individually. They are Target for Tonight and Target for Today. This pretty much covers.
Let me say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Ardy, being the good guy that he is, and he knows I like solitaire games, said, Dan, do you want these games first? Which, is really nice of him, but he's a bit of an ass for keeping it for everybody else. But I said no. Danny Secretary. That's why I'm saying this. Danny Secretary. I'm saying no.
All right, so both of these are punched, but neither of them have tons of pieces. And this is Target for Today. Target for Tonight is organized similarly. Dice in the box. There's some of the markers and stuff in one of these little plastic trays, and the planes themselves are in baggies. So once again, general shelfware on this, but not much. So Target for Tonight. Noble Knight actually doesn't have it in stock right now, and I know that for at least some people it has been hard to find at various times in the past. So BGG's last sale price was $60. I would like $50 for Target for Tonight. And then for Target for Today, Noble Knight has it for $60. The last BGG price was $49. I would like $45 for Target for Today.
And why do you have those solitaire games? You're not a solitaire guy.
I'm really not. I ended up buying a lot of solitaire games, and I got rid of a bunch of them, and these stayed because they're cool games. I don't expect to get to them. Punched everything that I'll tell you if it's not clipped. If it is punched, assume it is clipped. But thank you for the question, Stacking Limit. Last game is Last Stand from Multiman Publishing, designed by Masahiro Yamazaki. This is supposed to be very good. I love the cover. The map looks nice, too. I'm simply not going to get to it. And unless I am completely mistaken, and I am not, there is a empty counter tray in here that I'm not taking out. The game is otherwise unpunched. There isn't a die, however, but I think you fine people have an extra die you can include in the game.
Hey, Ardy, it's over and it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Going? See how fast this went?
Yeah, so keep going, man.
Yeah. Well, no, I this is the stuff I'm willing to push the button on right now. This is it for tonight, man. Folks, we may do this again at some point. We'll see. So if I got more stuff that's at least I'm thinking about getting rid of it. So once again, the full list is Washington's Crossing. My price is $20. I Allow 1807 from Sound of Drums, $50. The Little Land, I'll do those one at a time, I guess. For the CSS, The Little Land, Novo, that's about the Soviet amphibious landing on the Black Sea coast. It's actually a very cool topic. There's been at least 1 or 2 other games on it, but there's not many. I would like $40 for that. Montelomar, again, Operation Anvil, Southern France, 1944, $60. Tinian, which is the last of the island games that I still have, $50. Vietnam, $15 from Victory Games. Pacific War, $20 from Victory Games. Target for Tonight, this is from Legion War Games. $50. Target for Today, $45. Last Stand, $30. For Novo, $14.95 for $30, and Fall of the Third Reich for $35. That is my sum total of stuff to unload. We did not know how long it would take to do this. So, and it's taken 20 minutes.
Good that we're doing this live. For the Peanut Gallery, I want to know if we did this periodically, would this be, would you guys want this?
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you would like to see us return to Gem Sale weeks from time to time. And either Dan could do it, or I could do it, or whatever. So
Ardy, it could just be like, hey, I'm selling 2 games. Bang, bang. Here you go. Babao Kids go on with the show.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. We are not confined. There is no itinerary that we have to abide by here.
I wanted to ask you the game. There's a game by Compass you called Montelomar.
Montelomar. Well,
Okay.
I'm from Ohio. We pronounce it
No,
however
no,
we
I'm
feel
just
like.
saying. So, and I'm not saying this. I'm not correcting you to be facetious. I'm just saying it so people will get the what it's called. It's Montélimar.
All right. Well, here in
That's
Ohio,
all.
we call it, in the wargaming community, we call it Montelomar. So,
Yeah, and
because
you
we
call
don't
Iraq,
speak French.
Iraq.
So, actual shipping. So, I think it was Joe that asked about the price for Last Stand. The price for Last Stand is $30. $30 for Last Stand. It looks good. Again, I'm just not going to get to it, and I got entirely too much stuff I'm not going to get to in any capacity. All right, so it looks like we're okay with more game sale shows. We're not going to do this like every week, but because eventually we'll run out of stuff. But there are some I'll call them rarities on the table in the next room. None of those made it into this stack tonight because
so they will.
I'm not saying that. They are on the consideration table right now. They may go right back to the shelf. I don't know yet.
And what are the factors that make you consider
Whether I'm going to sell it or not?
Yeah.
Well, the big one is there something really interesting going on that I have to learn about, and am I going to actually get to play it, right? At some point. And well, you can never really know for certain. And Lord knows I've sold stuff and then bought it again in the past, which is why my wife has a rule: Gary doesn't sell games, because she has a hunch I'll buy it again. I'm confident I'm not buying any more of this again. I've got a million games on iLow too. I've got like 4 or 5 games on iLow. So it's like, that system looks nice though. It looks once they have gotten good shape, gotten the rules in good shape, I think it'll be good. What is this?
Yeah, for me, man, I don't think I'll ever be buying those games again because that's just my situation has changed.
All right, I'm gonna start announcing folks that sent me emails, or the games anyway. And announce what games are off the table. And it's first come, first serve here, folks. So we are going to do it that way.
Is that Jim from Castle Argent?
All right. The first game. Yes, it is. James, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. All right. So iLow 1807 is off the table. It is spoken for. If you're still interested, like I said, if somebody bails on me or has to back out for whatever reason, I'm not going to blame that person. Stuff happens. If you want to send me an email about it, go ahead, but it is already spoken for. Looks like... All right, so hold on a second here. We got... It looks like Vietnam...
Is that the one you're selling for $15?
15, the low price of $15, yeah.
Wow.
So Vietnam, The Little Land, Montelomar, or Montelomar, and Tinian are all gone.
That was very good, man.
And then looks like Last Stand is gone too. And if you want to include your shipping address in the email, I should have said this up front. Do so I could calculate the shipping cost. So
Mark Herman told me that he really enjoyed this game. Tank chess.
Yeah, well, it's a chess variant. There's a whole huge genre of chess variants that a lot of people really enjoy.
No, I'm being facetious.
Oh, Mark, did he not like it?
I have no opinion on this game. None.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
He just looked at me. That's it.
Dan is crazy. This is true, and this has probably happened before. I don't know if everybody here is familiar with half-price books, but I have sold some gaming product to half-price books. And back in the day, you used to get a little more for it, but their prices are always pennies on the dollar, right? If you get 5 to 10 cents on the dollar from half-price books, you're doing good. Noble Knight will come in over that. I used to mark my Rollmaster books, GURPS books in this case. I didn't get rid of the Rollmaster stuff. I marked the Rollmaster books in the same way with a little black line in Sharpie at the bottom of the spine. I have seen my books come up for sale at local half-price books stores. So that I owned at one point.
Okay, Ardy, I gotta explain myself. Mark, it was not a verbatim quote, that's for sure, 100%. But it was a situation where we were talking, and you were talking about being on the board of the New York Chess Club. I could be mistaken, and I said, "What about tank chess?" And you were just like, "No, man, I play chess," type thing. But
real chess.
You know what I'm saying? And the words weren't coming out of your mouth. It was something like that, or I dreamt it.
You could have dreamt it. That's possible.
I know. My friends accuse me of that a lot.
That's possible. Or you could have, been on some strange substances from the Great White North, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I'm on substances right now. Do I look strange?
At one point, half price was pretty good to buy from because stuff would be roughly retail price at most. But now it's, I go in there and apparently they think their business model is selling rare collectibles for obscene prices, like $100 for punched copies of Panzer Blitz. So
seriously?
Yeah.
But don't they do the research?
I don't know what they do. I mean, you can't assume that the people at half-price books know the games, right?
Yeah, but just punch it into Google.
Well, that's how they get into trouble. They would see something like some third-party seller on Amazon selling something for some ridiculous price that no one is going to pay for unless it's a money laundering operation that buys it, or sells it too. Actually, that's how they would launder the money. But those days are gone. So the days of good prices at half-price books are over. Now they have very little because everybody knows now. Yeah, if I go in with these $20 books, they should give me, just figuring that out. It's $400, and then like new RPG books cost more than $20 now, in almost every case, unless it's some kind of loss leader or experiment or some small format thing. They'll give you $2, right?
That's
for
ridiculous.
That $40 worth this for stuff that they will sell for something like $80. They will give you something like $2 or $3. And that's I know I don't need to do that. I get mad every time I go in there and I look at the games. Sometimes I don't look at the games because I don't want to get mad. So
but for me, it would be, like the red button. Don't push the red button.
Right. I understand. Goodwill's been known to mark stuff up too, but you're more likely to find like a really good price at Goodwill. So I think Goodwill Seattle was selling a bunch of Wargames pretty recently. Somebody pointed that out to me.
Is there really How I Met Your Mother Monopoly? Are you kidding me, man?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if there was. I would be surprised if there wasn't at this point. I mean, nobody really likes it as a game, so the only people who play it are people that don't know any better, which is a lot of people, to be fair, and people who buy it as a collectible because they got the Lord of the Rings Monopoly or something like that. When the movies were coming out, I think my sister bought me Lord of the Rings Monopoly, which was a piece of hot buttered ass, and Lord of the Rings Risk, which was shockingly good. I mean, it's not as good as War of the Ring, but it's actually fun. Yeah. You could pronounce all the names. Those names I know how to pronounce. The names in France, forget it. The names in Middle Earth, I'm okay with. But you could pronounce, we'll venture into the whatever, the whatever place in Middle Earth. So I can't think of, I had a specific thing in mind and I couldn't think of it. So this is probably some truth to this too, people that did that. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Last Stand is spoken for as well. So what's left? Pacific War for 20. Target for tonight for 50. Target for today for 45. For Novo for 30. Fall of the Third Reich for 35. And Washington's Crossing for 20. That is what is left. That is what is left. Right there. So.
Hey, what's those games behind you? Bottom shelf? They look like small Avalon Hill booklet games.
You're talking about these?
No, go right. That's those. Yeah, exactly.
None of these are small. This is all standard size stuff. But what we got here is the 2008 or 2300 AD stuff from either Mongoose or Game Designers Workshop. We've got the Avalon Hill RPGs that aren't RuneQuest, because I got a lot of that. It's got its own shelf. So Lords of Creation, Powers and Perils. I have everything for Powers and Perils that they ever did, including the magazines. The second edition Twilight 2000. This is Space 1889. Thank you. You know who you are. There's a Dark Conspiracy, which that Mongoose just announced is coming back. Couple odds and ends. There's an On Guard in here, and the Dune RPG from Modiphius. That's that shelf. The other shelf is all Traveler stuff, and the magazine boxes are Traveler magazines. So target for today, lock and load. Dave, yeah, you got my email address. Just or if this is Dave or Devin or whoever, just email me. Say you want it, and that's good enough. The email address is in the ticker.
You know, I just saw a picture of David Heath, man. Damn, does he look good now?
That's good. That's good. The Traveler lot, no thanks. I do have some strangely enough, duplicate Traveler materials do occasionally come into my possession. I've got a stack of stuff that I have to go through. It's not that big of a stack. So, very good. Dave, hey, good to see you here, Dave. Thanks for stopping by. Let me mark that.
Hey, Dave, we haven't talked in a long time, man. I hope everything's okay.
We'd love to have you on the show, Dave. David, I'm just saying. Need water, because I'm doing a lot of the talking here, Dan. Do some talking.
I could sing out proud. Some things. All right.
Anyway.
All right. No,
I am so pleased to have made that tiny clip.
You know, it's this show that we're doing right now.
Oh.
It's man, you could have went on a long time if you think about it.
I could have. I mean, like I said, this is 12 games. There's probably another 60 on that table, or 80 maybe. I don't know. I could have gone. But remember that I've done this before, and it's a considerable amount of work to ship all this bullshit out, right?
Yes,
so that's why 12. 12 sounded right. I can handle 12.
Okay, you know what? I think without shooting myself in the foot, maybe I should do no more than 20, man, because I think I'm going to be inundated. We
can always do another one. The chat is willing and able to sit through an additional Gary and Dan Sell Games video or two. So if we did it every month, I think that might be a little too often. But
but you know what? Every month, yeah, you're right. And the Charles Latorra, you asked me if I finished any models. I'm presently working on 3 models right now, which is something I never thought I'd be doing at the same time. And the one
David, I gotcha. Continue, Dan.
One is North Africa with Bersaglieris in it by I forget which company, Ariete. Is that the company? No, by Italieri, whatever. And I had to get the Bersaglieri one. Now I'm working on
I understand
car, a German staff car. Also, what the hell? And that a Tiger. Anyways, and I just bought this for $8. $8.99.
Okay.
And you know what? This keeps me going for a couple of weeks in terms of cleaning it up, painting, being OCD at the most, because I want to improve myself. And like Ardy said and taught me, $8 for one week's entertainment, that's pretty damn good.
It's not bad. Captain Nolan, I'll tell you what, I am more than happy. I don't think we can logistically accommodate doing a show for the regular selling stuff. However, while there isn't a channel on the Ardwulf Discord server for like sales and trades already, I have no objection whatsoever to making one. So hop on over there if you haven't already. And feel free to email me if you don't have an invite to the Discord server. What's the scale on those, Dan? The 135?
Yeah, 135. That's why I put that up.
Okay. Yeah, I got no idea. I know there were scales, but I haven't done modeling, like models since I was a kid. Miniatures are a little different, but not that different because I haven't touched miniatures in a long time either.
The 135 scale, when you do get the miniatures, they're small enough to be miniatures, I guess, whatever, and detailed enough to get into it, you know?
Okay. So what I could tell you is about like Warhammer miniatures, right? Which have started out as 25 millimeter, then they went to 28 because I don't know why, but they did, and now everybody's on 28 millimeter, and that's like the average 6 feet is 28 millimeters. So your average 6 foot tall dude is 28 millimeters tall. That's what I know.
What?
So
I was going to ask you, this millimeter stuff, does it compare to scale?
What that turns into, so the scale, your scale 135 is a ratio, right, of the full size to the miniature.
Right.
28 millimeters. I'd have to do math to figure that out, and I'm not doing math now on the show. So it's, I don't know. I would think that how tall are your individual figures?
Oh man, we're talking maybe 2.5, 3 inches.
Oh, those are huge.
Really?
the standard Warhammer, I mean, like the regular ones, there's big ones too, but like the standard Warhammer miniatures are like an inch and a little bit tall. So
an inch, what the hell?
28 millimeters. All right, so Jonathan Dyer, thank you, Jonathan. 1 to 72 is 20 millimeter, but I guess we'd be talking about something a little more than that. So something like 1 to 60. I'm spitballing that. Like I said,
working with anything less than 1/35 for me in terms of I with my glasses and a magnifying glass, and when I finished like 6 hours of that, I was blind. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't drive a car. It's like everything was all screwy.
You know, to be completely honest, my eyesight, which is not great and hasn't been great for a long time, is definitely getting worse with age, right? There's more of a difference between short and long. I kind of need something for both now. I can't, The Last Stand, just because it's handy. I can read from there, and you guys saw how far at arm's length.
Yeah.
I can read Last Stand, but I cannot read the subtitle.
Holy shit, you're worse than me.
Can't make it out at all. My eyes are pretty bad. So, you know, I don't really need additional eye strain that would come with painting miniatures too. So,
yeah, you know, James, I forget. Yeah, you know what? I played with myself enough, and I'm talking about solo war games because I don't have it just came out bad.
Well, Dan has walked into another one
because I live in the country, this and that. So you know what? With what I'm going through these days, miniature and modeling and all that, doing stuff like this, which that's gonna take me a couple of months, man, for sure.
I'm sure. I mean, you're gonna get faster at it as you continue to do it, right?
Are you kidding me? This company, the detail.
Well,
man, I wish I had a door handle, okay, from I don't know what company. I think it was even maybe Tamiya. It was the size of 2 of my fingernail ridges. And I had to take that and put it on a door properly.
Huh. That sounds like a fun hobby. Now, I just said you'll get faster as you continue to get better at it. And then I realized I didn't. I got slower as I got better. And I was never like a world-class miniature painter. I was okay in the, amongst the locals here in Ohio. But I was not competing for Golden Demon Awards. But I did get slower as I was able to use more techniques. It slowed me down. The miniatures looked better when I was done, but I got to the point where I was like, I couldn't finish a miniature. So
I do it for Zen reasons, and it really, really works. But look at all the grief I'm getting.
You're getting a great deal of grief, Dan. I agree. Too much information. That's why you went blind.
Hey, come on. it's, you know,
I've still got
this is a
some Tamiya
misunderstanding.
paint.
If I was running for politics, this would be not good.
Oh, who knows now? I don't even know. We're not going any further in that direction, however.
Well,
I really like some of the Tamiya paints, actually.
you know what? I'm getting into Tamiya paints.
Mm-hmm.
I buy Vallejo, AK, which is good. Citadel, I enjoy their shades. But Tamiya, I'm really getting into Tamiya. Acrylic, though, not enamel.
Not the oil-based. Yeah, no. Nobody, I don't know anybody that uses enamels or oil-based paints with miniatures. Fuck that. You got to stick your face in the thing for hours at a time, being huffing all that paint thinner. That sounds like a bad idea. It sounds like
my youth.
Great way to turn into a raging psychopath or get brain cancer. So no, thank you.
Captain Nolan. Seriously.
That's fantastic. Thank you. All right. No other emails have come in, so I will reiterate that target for today. Let me verify that I got that right. Target for today is off the table. Target for tonight's still here. So target for today is the U.S. daylight bombing, and target for tonight is the night British bombing. It's actually pretty cool. And you can kind of run them together, too. Pacific War, what did I want for target for tonight is 50. Pacific War is 20, right? Yes. Washington's Crossing is 20. For Novo, which again, gorgeous game. I just ain't gonna get to it. $30. And Follow the Third Reich, $4.35. So that's what's left. Everybody else is covered.
Winterson, Army Painter, eh?
Folks can email me after the show too. Go ahead, Army Painter.
Yeah, they're putting out sets of paints, this and that, and you're getting at the most, if Army Painter, 17 mils, which is a lot of a certain paint when you're painting miniatures, right? But like
I've got jars of paint that I have had for decades.
But now they cost $300 for like 100, not even 100, 78 of their paints.
That's why Army Painter paints are the reason Army Painter became a big thing is it was a more economical way to get paint than buying the Citadel paints. My understanding is they weren't as good, but I guess they did change their formulation in the last couple of years, and they're better now. But I've never used an Army Painter paint. I can tell you nothing about them. I do know miniatures people.
I've got Pocket String. He wants to hear from Dan's couch. What the hell? Waiting to hear from Dan's couch.
I know what Pocket String is referring to, and we will not be going any further. We're not talking about it on this show.
Oh.
So, the lasers are nice. I mean, those are handy to have. I've got, I'm not sure I have one handy, but I've got those badge clips that you hang on your belt or your lapel or whatever, and it's got that thing that goes on it. That's what I use for line of sight. I've never bought one of the laser things. They are nice, though.
Oh, man.
I've heard good things about the speed paints, too.
I've got speed
No
paints.
need to apologize. We're just not taking that any further. That's all. All right. No further, Albrecht.
No, but that's too much, man.
It is. It is, in fact, too much. I concur.
Oh, my God. Ah, jeez, this is hilarious.
I do have some. I do every. So, some of you might be aware that there is a company called Second Dynasty that has done a number of Kickstarters for Traveler 3D printable ships. And I've got, I think, 2 of those Kickstarters. And basically, as soon as I started getting files is when the printer stopped working. So I do have some paints. So I was going to paint that up. It would have been awesome. But I got none to paint with them right now. So... Silent Death is a cool game. Well, the original edition was a cool game. I think they screwed like the universe up in later editions of Silent Death. I liked the original Silent Death universe, which was basically the old Space Master universe. Then they ditched that and went with, it was fairly generic, to be fair. They went with something else.
I want to ask James a question. The speed paints. Now, Are they good for detailed work? Are the speed paints called speed paints because they're thicker, therefore doing less than 2 coats? And will it hide the detail if that silent death ship has that much detail that you need to water your paint down? Hey, I got through that.
I have seen some video on speed paints, and my understanding is they are designed to let you detail a model with minimal work. So they're kind of washes. They're kind of like slightly thicker washes, as far as I can tell.
Okay, so you gotta slap on a few coats, man.
Well, maybe, but you're not painting a solid color. You're gonna primer in white or something like that, and then you're gonna let the white highlights show through on the high parts, right? It kind of gives. It's a lot like just a wash, but it's a little more controllable than a wash, or a little subtler than a wash is.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So,
but it's amazing, eh?
The Gundam models are still a big thing.
Go ahead.
No, that was all I had. The Gundam models are still a big thing.
Oh, yeah, man. Whatever. But I forgot what I was going to say. Ardy, you so rudely interrupted me.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me go ahead. I forgot.
I will tell you that the big ships, one of the sets I have is the small ships, which are a little less much to print. But the big ships will take a lot of time and a lot of filament to print. But they are designed to be printed on filament printers and not resin printers. So I have also, after doing some research into resin 3D printing, I have decided that I'm not getting into it until I have an actual workstation to house it that has a sink. There is a place in the house where I could put such a thing, but it ain't there now. So not today.
You're talking about a resin printer.
Yeah. If you're going to print miniatures, honestly, the resin is the way to go. You get the way better detail on the resin.
Yeah,
way better detail.
You have to have a hazmat suit to do.
I mean, it's not that bad. You got to wear latex gloves. A lot of people think the smell is objectionable, but some people don't. I don't think it would bother me, but it is messy. You get resin all over the place. It drips all over when you're removing stuff from your build plate, and it's a mess.
So you got to wear gloves, man, when you take it out.
You should wear latex gloves while using it, yeah. Also, you have to do it in a room that is completely free of ultraviolet light, because it is the resin cures via ultraviolet light. So it comes out of the tank. It's basically a tank of this resin fluid. You pull it off the build plate. You got to wash it, because you got to wash all the excess resin off. Then you got to let it dry. You got to put it in a curing device, or I guess leave it out in the sun for an hour. So it gets enough UV to completely cure, and only then can you actually do stuff with the 3D printed resin models.
Well, I'm surprised that some young kid in the States hasn't tried to snort the resin ink, or put their heads in a microwave with resin ink in their mouths. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised nobody's chugging the resin. Yeah, probably. I understand this, actually. I mean, there's a lot of nice plastics out now, but they also, among other issues, they also tend to knock over very easily, right? So you got to think about weighing them down, or somehow there's things you could do, but you could tape a penny underneath the base, for example, or something like that's kind of a classic way to deal with it.
Yeah, I use acrylic paints, man. I like acrylic paints.
Now, you're talking the water-soluble stuff.
Yeah.
I have never talked to a person that's into miniatures or modeling or dioramas or anything like that uses enamel paints. I mean, maybe the model railroad people do, because they still sell them. Somebody's using them. I just don't know who that is. Everybody that I've ever dealt with uses acrylic paint of some kind. Because who wants the cleanup and the smell of having to deal with the thinners?
But when your brain is fried, it's fried, huh?
Well, I guess that's true. Pennies wouldn't work, but you could, almost as cheap, you could go buy some flat washers from the hardware store. And those would work completely fine, and they're probably heavier than pennies, too. They might not be, but...
You know what, Winterson, you use a mix of acrylic paints and inks. I saw that on YouTube somewhere. I don't know.
I think...
You use a base white acrylic, and then you mix inks with it, or some sort of what do you call them? Thinner or something.
Well, also known as water for acrylic paints. But hey, how am I the guy that's talking about miniatures like an expert here? I don't know dick about miniatures. I haven't painted a miniature in 20 years. So, Mike Berticelli's printing out custom counterfeits for Wolfpack. That is an awesome way to use your 3D printer. I got a whole bunch of custom storage solutions out of it. The ones on the Patreon, there's a lot of those. But the ones, I forgot what I was going to say now, Dan. It's your fault, I'm sure.
It's just Brent.
I'm not distracted by Brent.
Does he have to be an ass?
But yes, he does. If you know Brent, you know that he has to be an ass. It's in his contract. I designed and printed a complete custom set of storage devices for Europa Universalis, The Price of Power, which is horrific to organize because it has a lot of stuff in it. So now I started with the old testers enamels, like the model paints, right? And maybe it's the modeling people that are using the enamels. But that's what I started with. And I might even still have a couple of them, but I don't know. Like some of the super old, like Ralph Parth and Grenadier miniatures that I had. Some of those were painted in tester enamels.
Yeah, those little.
Yeah, good point.
Those little tester things got me started on psychedelics.
Yeah, this is also Dan's fault, I'm sure, because he's into miniature modeling now, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. If you are having fun with it, that is the only thing that is particularly important. It is my opinion of your hobby should not be important to you. I am appreciative that we all share the hobby of wargaming, I think.
You know what I'm saying? I'm having so much fun, I feel like stepping out for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I'm trying not to use this giant ass thing on the show, but I keep picking it up because it's in front of me. Well, I would be in favor of ditching pennies. Pennies aren't worth anything now, so I'd have been cool with that 40 years ago, personally. I have used inks in the past, and I don't know that I got particularly proficient at them.
Man, I got some wicked fountain pen inks, man. Winterson, is that the type of ink you use?
I have specifically tried it with like fountain pen inks that you get at the art store. Not recommended. It's way more difficult to deal with than the Citadel inks, for example.
Citadel inks?
Citadel, maybe they don't make them anymore, but I would think or maybe they call it something else now. That's just as likely. So people will rebuy it all. But they used to that's where I started with inks and washes washes that came in a pre-mixed bottle when I didn't have to mix it myself. Was with the Citadel paints. And I still have some Citadel paints too, actually. I don't like their paint, but...
You're talking about the little round, the tubby bottles, right?
Yeah, the Citadel paints. I also don't particularly want to patronize Games Workshop, but I mean, you can't boycott everybody because you don't like them. If I was into it and I liked the paints, I would probably still buy the paints. Del Perez used a Canadian quarter as a ball marker, light as a feather. What are the Cadets using to make their coins now? I don't know. Aluminum, perhaps?
Maybe it was light, Joe.
I haven't gotten a Canadian quarter in a long time.
I never carry money, man. You know why? Because I don't have any.
Yeah, there's usually more pigment in an ink than in a wash, in my experience. Again, I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. So everything I'm saying about painting miniatures, assume that I am an ignorant asshole and am just talking out of his another region.
I'm listening intently.
Yeah, don't listen to me. Listen to the people that do miniatures.
Well, I'm going to have to try it with some of my fountain pen inks, and let me tell you, I got some wicked fountain pen inks.
There better be a caribou on the Canadian quarter. I'm tired of the Games Workshop treadmill and their prices and all that, and I'm not into their games, so it's not a boycott. I am electing not to get into that again. I was into that at one point. Canadian money is nickel-plated steel. There you go.
Oh yeah.
I would. You know what? I would still buy the washes and inks if
two washes
if I was doing it because I liked theirs the best. I mean, I'd try some Army Painter and Vallejo or whatever. But they are expensive. Everything from Games Workshop is expensive.
Jesus!
I
I bought something called a Nuln oil, Nuln oil.
Yep. Yeah,
It's $10.
It's a Warhammer
$10
thing.
for 15 milliliters. 15 milliliters.
Does their regular paint cost that much?
No.
Okay. I believe the Nuln oil is something special. There are actually videos about how to use it on YouTube.
It's nice. It's nice. It really goes into there's something about it. I was going to say goes into the cracks, but you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get killed for that.
I have some sympathy for Jim's point of view on this. If you like, I don't know. I've been out of the Games Workshops. I was in this. I was a 40K player I played Space Marines. I played Space Marines for several years. From the beginning until whenever it was that I stopped, because I started with the very beginning before they had any other edition out other than that hardcover Rogue Trader book.
Hey, so next week, Ardy, how many games should I have for sale?
Depends how many you want to handle. That's how I would advise you to proceed.
I forgot.
If you want to handle, I would like work in lots of 10, I guess, or not, lots, but you know what I'm saying. Clearly we could get 20 out of the show.
Easy.
Right? Just time-wise. You may talk differently than I do, but I may have commentary about the games too. So I'd say 20 or 30, maybe, something like that. I don't know. 30, depends how much you want the money.
250 cockatiel.
You could just dump it all in one shot, and then it'll take you 2 weeks to get it all out the door, but you will at least have fewer games and more money. So, and I do like Pirate Ship as a shipping solution because they reliably save me money over both. I mean, it's a bulk rate type of thing where they got a rate with the post office and with UPS. So you're shipping via the post office or UPS. You're just paying a better rate.
No,
so
me, it's not going to be any of that. Me, it's going to be Canada Post because that's what we got.
I am not positive that you have Pirate Ship available to you. You might, though. It's worth checking because you and your buyers will save money if you ship via Pirate Ship. If it works for you, I'm not sure that it will. So, I suppose this is true in canonically. I find this totally believable. I feel like Tabletop Simulator is a natural fit for miniatures games. And as somebody mentioned, Jim Ozarski runs games like at least once, maybe more than that a week, of miniatures, mostly miniatures games.
For sure.
Using Tabletop Simulator. I have managed to not really get super into Tabletop Simulator. I've done a couple things with it, but not very much. Mostly that's because the kinds of games I would rather be playing are games that you'd play on Vassal, though. And just don't work well for Tabletop Simulator because there's too many tables, or there's too many pieces, or, whatever. So
we got something called Stallion Express. You know what I'm saying?
That Canada Post strike is over with now, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, you're Canadian. I assume you know everything that goes on in Canada.
Well, I know Betsy's cow got hurt yesterday.
Well, there you go.
No, I mean the old man was okay, but the mother was hurt. That's Betsy's cow, man.
Oh, the cow, right? The cow,
right.
That's what I said. All right. Anyway, all right. We got like a minute left, so I'm just going to list off what is left. What is left? Washington's Crossing, Operational American Revolution, $20 punched. Next up is Pacific War as a beautiful Mark Herman masterpiece, but it is the original Victory Games edition. It is punched from the Fucko collection. And $20 for that. And Target for tonight is still available. Target for today is gone. $50 is the price for Target for tonight. We also have for Novo $14.95 for $30 unpunched. Fall of the Third Reich punched and clipped and neatly organized for $35. So if anybody wants any of those, the email address is in the ticker. It is ardwulflair@gmail.com. And don't forget, folks, that Dan will be selling some games next week. We'll see how many. I would be inclined to be aggressive, Dan. Considering how long it took to go through this 12, which was 20 minutes. Yeah, I'd probably go with 30.
God!
I got 60 back on this table easily. Easily.
You know what? Half-Assed Gaming says if you could do a show on the state of current game economics without everything getting political, I would speak for Ardy. Ardy, can I speak for you?
Go ahead.
I would say absolutely not. It's going to be political 100%.
Well, I don't know if there have been a couple of YouTube shows on, not necessarily in wargaming, but how it is expected that the game economic situation will affect whatever kind of game we're talking about. I think somebody did one for Wargames, but somebody also, there's some RPG ones out as well. Now, RPG games are normally sold as books and may be susceptible to different types of tariffs, maybe. I mean, one reason why I haven't talked much about this is that it is a very unstable situation, and nobody has any idea what will happen literally tomorrow on this front. So until things settle down, I'm not sure I see a lot of point in talking about it, when a lot of what I'm going to end up doing is going to be talking about stuff I don't know enough about, or just speculating without the basis of knowledge to make them good speculations, right? So I think this is a great idea, John. I would watch if somebody did this, but it ain't going to be me. So, and I would rather it not be particularly political, because I'd like to talk about I would like to hear about like the practicalities of this. But I also expect people that that are in the business too to be talking about it, and not just randos like me. I'm not part of the business. So we should listen to the people who are part of the business. Oh, Multiman, by the way, has announced that they are putting their plan that they just announced to move shipping to China on hold, and they will continue to publish it, print in the United States. So I don't think anybody is shocked by that, but they did make that announcement. So
well, yeah. I mean, they already have everything set up in the States. Probably was going to save money going to China, but now it's just not worth it.
Oh yeah, I think it was Grant from Pushing Cardboard that might have done a show on this. And if he's talking to publishers, and publishers should have good visibility on what the situation is. No less chaotic, but the publishers should have a reasonable idea of what the current status is literally that day, right? But the next day it could be totally different. So nobody knows anything. Yeah, this is true. This is true. So, all right, folks, we are out of time. Once again, I'm not going to list the games off again, but if anybody's interested in anything they saw tonight, including after the show, go ahead and email me at ardwulfslair@gmail.com. There is no wait lists happening at the moment. Dan will be selling stuff next week, so I would like, and it looks like I don't have anything new, so I'd like to wish everybody a great rest of the evening. We'll see you all again next week, where Dan is going to sell as many as 40 games. Right? How many as you want. You can get through 30 in an hour. I can tell you that.
Okay.
All right. Do what you want. All right. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll see you all next week.